Hey, this is Liz, and you're listening to the SouthCack Syndicate Podcast.
What's up?
What are we, episode 7?
Episode 7.
We got the rabbit. Mr. Rob Pitt's in the house.
What's going on, guys? I'm happy to be here. I'm just excited.
This will be a fun one. This is kind of out of our box compared to the guests that we've had, but I think it'll all be relevant.
That's true.
This will be a lot of storytelling, a lot of sales training.
Yes. So
stories.
little intro for Rob. VinWiki superstar, storyteller, right?
But yeah, we got about 150 million views on there.
Yeah.
So that's done pretty good the last couple of years.
Has his own YouTube channel, Rabbit Used Cars, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which is doing mighty fine itself.
Strolling along pretty decent.
Radio show, Hot Rod and Happy Hour.
Hot Rods and Happy Hour, that's done well.
And now a new TV show, right?
Yeah, and a new show for Netflix, and it'll be
Okay.
airing in February. So
What's the name of that?
Tex-Mex Muscle.
Tex-Mex Muscle. What's the kind of vibe on that? Kind of the
Tex-Mex and muscle.
buy and flip. You buy them in Mexico, bringing them across the state line.
Bring them across the border, and we're doing some builds and doing some wild stuff. And there's a lot of layers to this show, and I don't really want to throw out too much and get in trouble, but it's a little different spin on your typical car show. That's what drew me to this whole project with it. So, it's been about 2.5 years in the making.
Right
so
on.
it's really good to finally get this first season in the can.
Cool. So we're going to get into a bunch of stuff. We're going to get in, I'm sure, a little bit of radio, a little bit of YouTube,
Yeah.
a little bit of TV stuff.
It's like the ultimate car guy.
Yeah. Oh, he's a hustler. Trust me. He's got his hands on a little bit of everything.
If it rolls and blows smoke out the back, I like it.
So let's talk. I guess we can get into this in a little bit, but let's talk TV. How did the Netflix show come about? Can you talk about that?
So
Did you shop that yourself?
No, I didn't. I'll be honest with you. So to tell you that story, I got to start with another story.
Okay. We're all about some stories.
I did a pilot for Discovery Channel about 7 years ago, and it was absolutely horrible. Like, it was one of those things like, have you ever done something that you knew you were wrong when you were doing it?
Yep.
And then you saw the finished product, you're like, yep.
Even worse.
This is bad.
Jared's done that with ladies.
Well, don't even get me started on that. My attorney already told me. He used to joke with me all the time. He said, hey, cheer up. When I was getting my first divorce, he said, hey, we'll give you a third one for free. When I went back in the second time, he said, I was just bullshitting about that third one for free. Anyway, so about 7 years ago, I got a cold call. I got discovered in Las Vegas at SEMA in the elevator of the Encore Hotel.
Love that place.
Love the Encore.
Yeah,
nice
you
place.
could walk to the show. That's the best part about it.
That's the cool part.
Yeah.
So you got to think about it. We were staying on the 63rd floor, so it's about a 15-minute elevator ride. So you make buddies, when you're in the elevator. And I was talking to this guy. His name was Dorian Vinlov. Just a name that sticks out. You can definitely tell he's not from Pickens, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Not maybe West Union, but not Pickens.
There you go.
But anyway, moving on. He me and him talked. And he goes, "Yeah, I work for Discovery Channel and this and this." Man, that's awesome, And I guess a 6 foot tall, spiky blonde haired guy that talks like the Marlboro Man kind of stuck out to him. So he found me on social media, and he actually found a picture of the diesel truck shop my family owns. And he called the number that was on the sign on a Sunday. As luck would have it, it was like I drew the short straw that week to have the phone come to me.
You were working on Sunday.
Yeah, I was on the couch, but I would answer the
That's
phone
weird.
most of the time. Anyway, I got California calling. Hey, truck shop, whatever. He goes, "You probably don't know me, but I remember you well." And I'm like, okay, this could really go bad quick.
And then he says Vegas. You're like,
"You're breaking up, buddy. I can't hear you. Click.
Gotta go.
But anyway, he goes, "Hey, we've got this TV show we're filming. We sent this first one out. We kind of got mixed reviews. We want to, just kind of step back and punt. And we really think you have what it takes to just give it a little different vibe." And I was all excited about it. I mean, think about it. Car TV, people just put it in your mind as the end all be all. Then you do it and you realize it's not. But it's we shot this pilot and it was horrible. It was just from the word go bad.
Yeah.
And then luckily it never made it out of the building.
Let me ask you this. Was it that bad because you didn't have your hands in it?
A little. You got to think about it. The concept is beat to death.
Yeah.
It was very generic. It was thrown together. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with it. And it was one of those things, man, it didn't take. Whew,
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
I'll tell you, and for those listening and watching, easy.
Beer spill.
My little TV experience that I had, and I didn't know this was how this worked. The reason I kind of went down that path was because I wanted to experience what this was going to be all about, right? And so I didn't know this, but like Discovery, they don't create their own shows.
No, production companies make the shows.
Yeah, these third party production companies, they find the talent, they come up with the show idea, they get it all together, they create what they call a sizzle reel, and then they try to sell this to Discovery or whoever they want to try to sell it to. I had no idea that's how that worked. So I got involved with some of these companies, and one of them was basically like, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but what we want you to do is we don't want you to build cars, we want you to build furniture. I'm like, but I don't build furniture. Yeah, but that's okay. And I'm like, how you can make a show about me burning furniture?
I love when people experience the same things I have with a production company.
Yeah.
Be like, so you build cars. What do you think about lamps?
Yeah. Well, and they're like, I'm like, I don't even have, how you going to have customers? Oh, we'll bring you customers. I'm like, I'm not interested. So anyway, back.
But yes, and you got to understand, a production company is the moral of the story. They will tell you what you want to hear to a certain point, and then it's like, I'm not doing that. We're not doing this. We're going a whole other direction. So anyway, that went out, and long story short, I'll be honest with you, I kind of got burnt out on it. Dumb luck, I fell into radio. Not a year and a half later. Something that tickles me, and something that I think a funny thing is, I remember when we were doing the stuff for Discovery, and I remember I was all proud. We started the event company, Hot Rods and Happy Hour, doing car shows all over the Southeast, and I was so proud of that name. I just loved it because it was catchy.
Yeah.
And I remember the people at Discovery saying, you will never see that in mainstream anything because you might as well say drinking and driving. That's the worst name ever.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that until you said that.
Well, so
I got a story about that too. But go ahead.
And I thought that. I mean, I'm like, man, these guys know what's up.
Yeah.
Like whatever. So the funniest thing, fast forward a year and a half later, I get this man that walks up to me. I'm making announcements at a car show. And he goes, damn, son, you got a set of pipes on you. He said, you ever thought about doing radio? This guy was the vice president of Intercom radio stations, second largest radio company in the world.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I said, no. 2 weeks later, I was on FM radio. But this is the thing that's crazy. He said they were looking for a name. He said, man, that Hot Rods and Happy Hour, I love it. It's catchy. It's all over the world now, that name is. And I'm thinking to myself, drinking and driving. You'll never see that. I just want to call him up and be like, really?
So a little bit on that. When I did your show, maybe 2 years? It's been before COVID, so it's probably been a while.
That's about 3 years ago.
Yeah. I was on my way home from Greenville. I get pulled over. And so the cop comes up, where you coming from, son? I said, I was in Greenville. What you doing in Greenville? I was on a radio show. Oh, really? What was it called? Hot Rods and Happy Hour.
Drinking and driving.
Yeah.
You been drinking, boy?
Yeah. So anyway.
Say, boy.
Did he say,
Why
I know
you
that
squinting?
show?
No.
I know those guys.
But after I said it, I was like, man, that isn't that's not the best thing to say.
What radio show was you on? Drinking and driving.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, the radio show took off, but that's what run. My very first call-in guest was Ed Bullion from VinWiki.
Okay.
And this is before I knew what VinWiki was. I thought VinWiki was part of a woman's anatomy or something. I had no idea what it even was. And, Ed Bullion, of course, he held the Cannonball record forever.
Yeah. In the Mercedes.
Exactly.
Yep.
And, Ed's like an Atlanta legend.
Yep.
And, he was on the Today Show. And, I was nervous. Like, this is like a big-time interview. And, I'm like, about a month in radio. And so, I was watching his interviews he was doing on the Cannonball and stuff. And I remember Matt Lauer interviewed him. And the questions he asked him were so dumb, on the Today Show, but they were dumb. He said, how do you prepare for such a grueling race across the country? So I asked Ed the same question. And then I finished it with, I would assume if you live in Atlanta and drive down 285 at any given time, that prepares you for the Cannonball.
Yeah.
He said, exactly.
That's the worst part of the Cannonball right there.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he was talking about living in Atlanta and all this stuff. And it was so funny. And in my Ed Bowling, Robert, you sound like an interesting guy, you know? And he said, you ought to come down to Atlanta. We got a little project we're working on. You got to think about it. VinWiki had 150,000
I'll have to send you
subs.
this channel.
It had like 150,000 subs. He had literally, I mean, I love you guys' place. I love what you've done with the place. But his original, where we filmed the original VinWikis, literally looked like a dungeon. It was straight up like I was pretty sure that I was never going to see my mama again.
Yeah. Well, did it look as cool as it does now?
Yeah, now the set looked the same, but the thing was, that was just a wall.
Gotcha.
The rest of it was straight up stranger danger all the way.
Concrete walls.
It was a dark, like gloomy basement, you know?
Yeah.
And we did it at night. It was cold. Like I remember you could see your breath. And we would turn on like a propane heater where it would bring the temperature up just a little bit, then turn it off.
And then
and then we'd like, you got
Too noisy.
you're on.
You got about a 12-minute video before you see your breath again. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I remember that's where I recorded the eBay Outlaw video, the very first one. That was the very first video on VinWiki that hit 1 million. It was the very first one that hit 100,000 a day, very first million views, and it's still at the number 4 video on VinWiki, period. But, you know, and that was the thing. That's where it all got started. But doing that, and now VinWiki's got 1.7 million subs now. Yeah. So, I mean, they're doing phenomenal.
Yep.
But that's what got me to the TV thing. Of course, it was like, Rabbit, you need to launch your own channel, you know, and you need to do this. Well, I thought about it for a little while, and we did, and it took off. And I got a call, actually got an email through Instagram from a production company, and the guy said, "We'd love to talk to you," and with a phone number, and it said, you know, Mac Pictures. He said, "We'd love to talk to you," and I called this guy up, and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he goes, "We love your rabbit character." I'm like, "That's me."
Yeah, that's not a character.
Yeah, that's a person. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Well, either way," he said, "You want to shoot a sizzle reel here in about a month, 2 months?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I could probably do something like that." He told me a little bit about the show. So long story short, we get there, and he called me back 2 days later and said, "Can you be in Lockney, Texas," which is probably the smallest town I've ever been in my life. Lockney, Texas. On 3 days.
Is that on the border of Mexico or close?
No, it's actually about 100 miles south of Lubbock. It's not close to anything.
Okay.
It's like Lockney makes Walhalla look like Atlanta. It's small.
That's
my kind of town.
It's very small. Like,
except for there's probably nothing going on. It's probably desert.
Well, and that's it's flat. Yeah. All it is cotton fields and those windmill things everywhere. And a body shop, a rent-to-own furniture store, a burger stand, a liquor store, and a barbershop. The end. That's Lockney.
Barbershop and liquor stores all in one.
Population 61/60. Somebody died.
Earl left.
Yeah.
Or 62. Somebody got born. Yeah. Had a kid. Small town.
Very. And we shot that sizzle reel. It looked really cool. I got to see it, the finished product of it, and had a really interesting story with the sizzle reel, but I can't share that on radio, or share that here. But very interesting time, to say the least. And watching someone get arrested, that was kind of neat. And a well-known television person.
Oh, really?
Which, story for another time. Anyway, so we shot that. It went great. COVID hit. Never heard another word. Mm-hmm. I thought, didn't make it, whatever. And I just kept doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And March of last year, I got a phone call from this production company. They said, "Hey, Rabbit, you ready to be a TV star?"
We sold it.
It's gone. Yeah, and it's a done deal. And the only problem was because it had been so long that we lost some of the characters.
Yeah.
So they had to replace some people in it. Virtually everybody but me and one other guy got replaced. And now it's a done deal. Like, it's literally, I've got to go to LA here in 2 weeks to do some just little pickup scenes.
Right.
Other than that, it's done.
What's the name of it?
Tex-Mex Muscle.
Tex-Mex Muscle.
So what you've seen of that so far, you're pretty happy with it?
I love it.
Okay. That's awesome.
I love it. It's a very well shot. It's very, very well thought out, in my opinion.
When's it supposed to air?
I'm thinking it's going to be February, late February, something like that.
February on Netflix. Right?
Yes.
Rabbit's just make me look cool.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the
Just
thing.
make me look cool.
Well, and it's so funny because, I was talking to a sponsor one time, and it blows their mind because so many people in this industry of YouTube, I've met so many YouTube guys that were nothing like they seemed on camera.
Yeah.
And I met radio guys that were nothing like they thought they'd be. And you meet these guys, And, you know, it's like they make car TV shows for people that look the part.
That's right.
They'll kind of fill in the blanks for the rest of it.
Oh, it's like the music industry.
Exactly. Yep.
That Milli Vanilli thing's real.
Oh, wow.
But
That happens in TV too.
Yeah, but you see what I'm getting at, and it blows their mind. Like, I do this every day. Yeah. You know, like this is what I do.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, so now they're coming to me asking me questions like, so, like, would this real? I mean, can we do this? Does
this look real?
Right.
Yeah.
Is this? And I mean, like asking me, consulting me, or for consulting on the show, which is kind of too, but definitely a fun project.
Well, that's good. At least they're not like telling you to do something that's not natural.
Exactly.
It's like your show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and we got a really talented bunch. We got a lot of big names on the show. We've got, you know, just a lot of cool stuff. Mike Coy from Gas Monkey Garage is on the show.
Yeah.
The painter was on Gas Monkey for years. You know, just a really talented bunch. We had, you know, a great fabricator. His name is Wes Zachary. Wes is super good. This dude, I mean, I know I got a fabricator table with me, so I got him speakeasy because I like Kyle. I might need something tigged.
I don't claim to be.
I might need something tigged up one day.
Yeah.
You're cool, Kyle, but this guy can literally take a sheet. He can take a piece of sheet metal. He can take a piece of sheet metal, make you a beach ball out of it in about 10 minutes.
Oh,
like
yeah?
he's just that guy.
Yeah.
And
Kyle's going to go home and get a piece of
I'm making a beach ball when I get home.
I'll make you an even better beach ball. But anyway, and I mean, and then we got this really talented mechanic. Her name is Jamie Helm. She actually owns a shop in Chicago and owns a taxi cab company also.
You go,
Sweet.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I mean, so she's kind of a firecracker kind of attitude anyway. And I mean, she's like one of those chicks you don't want to make mad because you probably won't see your mama again.
So what do we expect off the first episode? Give us kind of an elevator pitch of what the show entails and is about and looks like.
Riding through rural Mexico, Juarez, things like that. You're going to see some really neat stuff that you've never seen on a car television show before, ever. And that's what I love about it because, I mean, we shot in Juarez.
You're buying old cartel stuff.
Well, not necessarily that.
Bringing it back.
But you know, you're going to see.
How'd you finance this show is what I want to know.
Exactly. Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
I hear that.
You make an omelet, you crack some eggs, okay?
I heard that.
But it's like, hey. But did we make a TV show?
Yes, we did.
At the end. Yeah. No one asked about ethics in this. You know,
love this guy.
Keep in mind, you're talking to a glorified used car salesman.
Sure.
You know?
So you pick up old cars out of Mexico, you bring them back to the U.S.
in, rebuild them, and sell them. And I sell them on the other side. Great show, great concept. Do a lot of cars. We're doing over 12 builds in 8 episodes, which is phenomenal.
That's intense.
I like that it's different.
And it keeps it hopping. And keep in mind, these are like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot going on in these episodes.
You bet.
Okay, so in real time, how long does it take to do one of those builds? A week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? So
I got to call my local body
booking.
shop.
Yeah, well,
and then you guys
They take forever.
You
now,
guys
keep
are
in mind,
probably
there's also
doing-
50 people on the floor helping.
Yeah.
You know,
and you probably got multiples going on at the same time, right?
oh, of course.
Yeah.
And different shifts, and
Yeah.
and it's definitely a well-oiled
Yeah,
machine.
on TV you see like 5 guys, and
no
then
doubt,
as soon as
no
the
doubt.
camera goes off,
There's 35 behind them.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I saw an interview with Mark
Maybe Dork.
Cuban talking about Shark Tank, and he was like, what you don't see is 300 people is on the set of Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And these pitches take an hour, sometimes maybe 2. So when I look at somebody and say, you got 10 seconds, let me know. I've already listened for 2 hours. My mind's already made up. They're either going to commit or they're not.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay.
so that's why he seems so dry.
Yeah, well, I
Like
think
as soon as they do the
all of
pitch,
them,
he's
right?
like, I like it, but I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he's already heard it for 2
That's
hours.
right. That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So same thing in your world.
I'm
And
bleeding from my ears. Stop.
yeah, and then I like shows like Counting Cars, all these reality shows. I got a buddy in this industry. They do ghost hunts, and he was like, you know, you see me and Chris under a house with a camera. What you don't see is there's 5 guys holding cables.
Exactly. You got a
Another guy
sound
holding
man.
a light. Another guy holding a microphone. Like I'm not under the house alone.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
there's like 10 of us under there.
The scariest part is there's that many people around.
Well, but I tell you what's crazy too is like you'll see, like you watch a TV show and you watch somebody walk into somebody's house or walk up to somebody's house at the door, and they open the door like there's cameras there, but they're like, "Hey, bud, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Like this wasn't prompted.
That would never happen.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell?
First thing you're gonna say is, "Hell with you! What's the deal with the camera crew?" You know, why is there a boom mic in my face?
Yeah.
You know,
Pimp my ride.
oh my god, oh my god.
I had no clue.
Are you saying Exhibit really didn't just stop by and see everybody? What? That's crazy.
They showed some of those cars after the build, like where are those cars now? They're one car
Trash.
on fire.
Yeah.
You know, like, it was quick.
Well, you know,
I'm sure that I equate those cars to like, I don't want to say SEMA cars, but like I guarantee you start opening the doors and looking inside, they're not finished.
well, there's a lot. You know, keep in mind the camera hides a lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
Oh, I know.
Sure.
I play that game all the time.
Welcome to my world.
Yep.
But this is but the other thing you got to think about with car TV and things like that is these things are built and they go, and it's a small miracle in itself. These things get built like they do.
Yeah.
But they're not quite dialed in. They're not quite 100%. It's just like, like the SEMA builds like you're talking about. You know how many SEMA cars I've looked at that were absolutely gorgeous sitting there, not a wire in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just sitting there laid out on the floor, And
it's you see both worlds. You see some that are totally done and like pristine, perfect. They're
Works
the
of
ones.
art.
They're the ones that win the Riddlers and the awards that go with it, right? But then there's the other half of them that's like the lipstick is just good enough to put it on the floor.
we pushed it in here.
Yeah, you don't let nobody else see nothing. They got a name for it. It's called a Bluetooth drive shaft.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It ain't. You couldn't crank it up and drive it because it won't hold.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Rob, do you get into in the episodes that you've filmed already or what they're about to release, where Rabbit came from?
No, well, a little bit. We touch on it. And you keep in mind, we couldn't give the
family show.
full.
You can't talk about the rabbit.
It's a family show. It's a family story.
Yeah.
I want to know where the nickname Rabbit came from.
You want to know where the nickname Rabbit came
I want to
from?
know.
So, all right. I was permanently banned from eBay in 2005. And it's a very small group of us that can't come back ever from eBay. And matter of fact, my personalized plate is banned for life. And that's a story in itself, how I got away with that. But the state of South Carolina got a really, really good description. Oh, man. I might have led them astray. But a fib could have been told, but I got my tag.
You got
That's all
it.
that matters.
That's all that matters.
I delivered. That's it.
That's right.
So anyway, quick story. Got to think about it. So 2005, actually September of 2005, I was permanently banned from eBay. And I used to joke around with people all the time and said, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go online and find a phone number for eBay. Find me the street address. They sent me a 17-page certified letter. They didn't send me a dirty email. A 17-page certified letter saying why I can't come back. Ever. And so anyway, so here I am down now. And keep in mind, I had a pretty good hustle going then. I did it for 5 years. And so I went from that to working at D&D Ford in Greer, South Carolina. I got a job there. And I was Robert Pitts. This is pre-Rabbit.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there on my very first day, and I'll never forget, the salesman that was there was talking about their best salesman sold 9 cars a month. Your D&D was a smaller Ford dealership.
Yeah.
So
How'd he eat?
ramen noodles. That's the trick.
I bet.
Very lightly.
Sure.
Think about the worst salesman.
He wasn't overweight. That's for sure. But anyway, so moving on. We, and I'll never forget, the guy that was training me. Now, keep in mind, I've been in car sales literally since I was driving a car. But, I walked onto this new car lot. Nobody knew me from Adam's House Cat. And I'll never forget, the guy that was training me had to leave early to get a title loan on his truck so he could make his mortgage.
Oh, Lord.
So we know he's doing okay. And so I started working, and I tell this side, this is another little part of the story, but you got to keep in mind that, I was 25 years old. At the time, I made phenomenal money, and I spent money like it had an expiration date. And I learned a valuable lesson that just because you have it don't necessarily mean you need to spend it.
Right.
And that's a story for another time. But anyway, so I went to work at this Ford place, and I was broke. I was broke as a joke. I had a brand new car that was paid for, but I was hammer broke. And I remember that salesman before he left, every dealership's got their protocol for paperwork. The customer survey, aka a credit app. You know what I'm saying? All these things.
Yeah.
And everything you send basically to F&I, send to the finance office. Mm-hmm. So I stapled all those together in a manila folder. That way, I could go through and pull them all out and make another little kit if I needed to. And I'm over here filling out he left, and I'm filling out my little business cards, writing my name on them.
And filling them in.
And I walk out on the sales floor, and I met a guy named Gary. And Gary owned a really large construction company, and we hit it off. I sold him 9 cars in one day. Actually, correction, I sold him 8 in one day, and 1 that morning he picked up.
You beat the dealership record
in a day. And my very first day there. But this was the craziest part is, the name part of this is, so every dealership has got a dry erase board, salesman's name. When you sell something, salesman's name, stock number, trade in, whatever. Well, the guy that owned D&D4, and he's passed now, his name was George Davenport. His son runs it now. But George, I've never met the guy. I was hired by a sales manager. George Davenport was an ex-Golden Glove boxer. This poor old man was probably 65, 70 years old at the time, been hit in the head numerous times.
Yeah.
Mush mouth, cauliflower ear, every ailment an old boxer could have, he had it. Big stocky guy. That's my hair. So anyway, he walks in wearing a suit, a pinstripe suit, and I'm running back and forth. You got to think about it. You sent 9 cars out or 8 cars out of that building in an afternoon. You sell 2 cars a day, you're moving pretty good.
Yeah.
You sell 8, I'm running, and I'm new. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'll never forget, we wrote all this stuff on this dry erase board, and I wrote Robert up there so many times, I filled the damn board up. And I was just writing it up there just sloppy. And he walks in, he goes, who the hell's this rabbit guy? And he goes, I don't know who he is, but he sells a lot of cars. Well, needless to say,
hopping around everywhere.
Exactly. He was hopping everywhere. So needless to say, the next morning in the sales meeting, holy.
Not rabbit.
Well, and I walked out to my little glass front office, the little cubicle with the glass front. And the guy that marked the windshields, Rob, the rabbit pits. After that, and
that's
just stuck.
That was it.
Every time I walk into D&D Ford, rabbit.
Yep.
And it just went from there.
That's awesome.
I think everybody ought to work at the car dealership. I mean, there is so much to learn from hard work, hustling, customer service, sales.
I will tell you this: when I go to buy, I hate buying new cars. Or not new, but like dealership cars. Let's put it like that. I hate buying dealership cars because, I've had a bunch of salesman experiences that I wish I could forget. But now it seems like they're a lot lazier than they used to be. And I don't know if that's because they're trying to not be that guy. But I think you could still do really well selling cars and not be that guy.
I want you to be that guy. I mean, come on. I mean, this is the thing.
Work for it.
I get mad when I get a lazy salesman. Like, I want to smack the shit out of them. I'm just like, you need a role model.
Yeah.
Sell me something.
The bad thing is when like I go in those places, I know I'm going to buy. 100%. I go in there and tell them, look, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. I'm ready to buy today. And then they won't come see. It's like they disappear. Like, what the hell?
Sorry, I got a phone call.
Yeah.
What? Hey, that's my lunch. I'm just going to let someone else take care of it. What? Are you
kidding?
I mean,
and that's what you have today, which is crazy.
They're test drive monitors. That's what they
You're
are.
Right. You're right.
There's no other industry that I know of that has turnover like a dealership.
Oh, Lord. Yes. Nobody stays anywhere very long.
Is that because of the hours, though?
The hours, and there's always a better deal. If you're a good salesman,
you will be headed.
There's blood in the water, so everybody's going to come
you.
at you, want to offer you a little better because you usually paid on percentage. So, if you're getting 35% here, I'll give you 38% if you come on down here to the Dodge store.
With a sign-on bonus and a company car.
Or we'll do, we'll make you the general manager. And usually if you're a good salesman, you're going to be bouncing off somewhere else.
So how long did you do that?
I did it for 14 months.
14 months. Did you go somewhere else or you just did your own thing?
I actually left there and I took over my dad, the diesel truck shop I was thinking about. I took that over because I did all the office stuff there because I'm not a mechanic. I know what it takes and I can do a lot of things and I've seen a lot of things, but I'm not a mechanic. It's like my dad told me. My dad's a second generation mechanic and my father could fix anything, but including a broken heart. Now, that's a story for another time, too. Yeah. But this is the thing that's crazy I'll never forget, I was working in the truck shop. I was like 20 years old, and I was helping out. And I mean, keep in mind, this is right when I started selling cars online. And I remember my dad said, son, you just ain't cut out for this. Like you know what I mean? Like you broke his heart to tell me that, I think. But it was fun. And I mean, and working the office side of it, I got to learn the business end of things.
Right.
So that really opened my eyes to a lot more things. And I love it. I'll be honest with you, we always talk about car sales, and that's been a big point in my life. I owned a sign shop. I've done so many things over the years. business is business.
Hustling.
And it's that hustle. It's that hustle mentality. And, you know, you hear about all this quiet quitting bullshit now. And that drives me insane.
Yep.
Basically, it's just slack. Yep. I mean, and it drives me crazy. I'm very laid back. I'm very casual. I love to laugh. I love to do anything, but I love to work.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I get up every day.
That's us,
I
too.
enjoy working. Like, I feel weird when I don't work.
Yeah, if we're not getting into something new, doing something new, or trying to grow something that's already existing, we get bored and we get, we get complacent. I don't know. I guess we get.
That was the right word. Complacent.
Complacent. Yeah, we're the happiest when we're.
Sorry, I was in a thesaurus.
Yeah, Yeah. So I mean, I remember actually, I seen you at 2 events before I even knew or met you. I seen you. Well, you used to do pits.
That coaster doesn't like me.
You used to
I
do
want
pits.
my money back.
Yeah. You
didn't buy it.
You used to do ponies in the Smokies, right?
Yeah, we still do.
Still do.
The event company, I don't do them anymore.
Yeah.
But the event company,
So I seen, and maybe you weren't there. I don't know at the time, but I know that y'all were there. And then there was a barber shop that used to do car shows in Greenville.
Yep. Then downtown.
Yeah.
Right
And
there
that was
Stone Avenue.
Yeah, that was a cool place. It was a barber shop and an old gas station. Mm-hmm. And then they do once a year, they do big grand opening type car shows and whatever. And I think y'all were there too at the time.
So we were there for that. I was actually there for that. And I was there for the first 2 Ponies in the Smokies. I haven't gone to the last year. Obviously I wasn't there, but that's the fun thing about this. I mean, I love the car show business. Like I said, with the event company and the sign shop. And, I joke around with people all the time. They say, well, you got this little event company. Why do you want to mess around putting on car shows? Because I want my customers to have somewhere to go. That's job security with these things.
That's right. That's right.
So,
well, it's networking. We talk about that all the time. Like, the more you know, the better off you'll be.
Well,
more people you know.
Shake hands.
Well,
shake hands.
You know a lot of people in the car community. And I mean, you got these guys that want to sell a collector car. Or they got a relative that passed or something like that. They want to sell a collector car. Hey, let's go talk to this rabbit guy, see what's worth. Even if we can't put a deal together, I'll try to do what I can to help them, point them in the right direction anyway.
So let's take a quick break, pay a couple bills. I want to hear your best car story. Maybe that's the VinWiki that people haven't heard or whatever it is. Think on that.
I'll have to think on it. There's a lot of things that run in my mind.
I'm sure you got a good one.
Incriminating things, though. I got to be careful.
Stay tuned.
Are you looking for the perfect vacation spot for your next adventure? Whether it's hiking beautiful waterfalls, mountain biking Stump House Park, wake surfing on Lake Kiwi, or jamming at your favorite concert, Megan Ketterman with Oconee Hospitality has beautiful homes available for short-term rental in Oconee County, South Carolina. Contact Megan today to book your next vacation stay at www.oconeehospitality.com. Are you looking to make Lake Kiwi your destination? Work with local licensed expert Rhea Land Smith, your certified resort and second home specialist at Lake Kiwi Real Estate. Servicing buyers and sellers since 2013, Rhea is your local expert helping you navigate the real estate waters of Kiwi. Let Rhea make your life a vacation. Call 864-710-9547. And remember, Land is her middle name.
We're back. Thank you. We have
all kinds of footage
Rabbit
in
with
the break
today.
that we probably won't ever be able to use. It's awesome. Anyway.
You know what? In radio, the best parts were never.
You know what we'll do?
That's
We'll
right.
snippet those and put them on Instagram. So if you want to hear the, if you want to
Or
hear
not.
the
Incriminating
not
details.
all of it, just
There you
like
go.
the Mary Kay part.
That was
If you want to see, what do they call that? The
Be real. It's called Be Real.
No, it's what do they call the?
Just Be Real.
No, Be Real is actually used.
Yeah, you use B-roll.
Oh, no.
Anyway, if you want to see the uncut, the stuff that
Blooper reel.
yes, we got some good rabbit stuff. So go check out the Instagram. I'll snip it up and put it on there.
So, you guys, I mean, there's so many fun stories. Probably, so you drive a Dodge truck.
I do.
I thought better of you till I saw that. But anyway,
Give it to me.
bless your heart. We're praying for you. But, so when I worked at the Ford place, a funny story about a Dodge truck. And trying to make the deal. Keep in mind that hustle.
Yeah.
We're talking about salesmen now, not having that drive, not having anything. You're just kind of standing around with their khakis playing on Instagram. So this is my thing. So I'm at the Ford place, and the thing is, I worked in new car sales, but I could go down the hill and play in used cars if we were slow. So I'd run down the hill, and I would work with them, things like that.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget, a guy pulls up in this ratty old Chevrolet truck. I mean, it's probably a 90 model, and this is 2005, 6. But he pulls up like a 90 model Chevrolet truck full of bricks.
Yeah.
A wheelbarrow in the back. I mean, literally the bedsides are rusted, rockers are rusty, just covered in red mud, mismatched tires.
Ratchet strap hanging on the wheel wells or something.
It's squatted, in the back. It's got a load of bricks in the back of it. And this guy gets out and he's covered in mortar. I mean, he's a brick mason by trade.
Yeah.
And he goes, I was looking online and you guys have a Dodge 2500. And I said, charcoal gray, right down the hill. So let me show it to you. So we hop on the golf cart, ride down the hill, and we look at it. This guy was probably 22, 23 years old, younger guy. And he sits down in my office. He says, man, I love it. And we zipped it up the road, and we get back to my office. And he's in love. And we took it in on trade on new 250 or whatever. But so we're sitting there, and of course, we run his credit, and it's not even remotely there. I mean, this truck was
no bueno.
It was probably, back then, it was probably $40,000. But he... And I said, well, how about you, young guy? You might need a little help. I said, how about your dad? He goes, my dad would co-sign with me. And I said, well, let's get old dad on the phone. It's like a Wednesday afternoon.
That's a salesman right there.
I said, let's get dad on the phone. So we got talking to dad. And dad said, well, hell, I'm about to go on my lunch break. I said, why don't you come on down and look at this new Dodge truck your son's about to buy? He comes down. We run dad's credit.
Still not enough.
He's about 50 points above his son. So we got to... and I'm over here thinking like,
I know these guys.
I just wasted 2 hours on this guy. He knows what I'm thinking about.
How about your uncle? You know what your uncle doing?
Oh, we got a military discount. You got anybody? You been in the military? Boy Scouts?
Yeah, we'll take Boy Scouts for military.
Do you know your mailman's name? That works. Whatever. And did you play with G.I. Joes as a kid? Did you ever watch the cartoon?
Check.
Yeah, military discount. Check. Anyway, moving on. The story, killing the ethics of sales, one story at a time. But anyway, moving on. So, we're sitting there, Dad we struck out with. And Dad, we could swing it, but his payments were going to be literally
super high.
We were going to have to finance it through the Bank of Satan to make it work. And every new car dealership has... you got your A lenders, you got your B lenders, then you got the mafia.
Super high risk. It's 25%.
Yeah, they break your legs if you're late.
That's
those
right.
kind of guys.
Yep.
And to hell with your credit score, they're going to end your life.
Yeah.
And Guido is going to come see you.
That's right.
Yeah, he's going to break your legs where they don't mend back easily. But anyway. So, and this kid's payments were going to be astronomical if Dad just signed on it. We couldn't even put him on the note. That's how bad it was. So we got to thinking. I said, is there anybody? I said, Mom. He said, no, Mom's been out of work for a long time. That's not going to work. And I started thinking, he goes, my grandma. And I said, and keep in mind, this is a lifted Dodge 2500 four-wheel drive. It's a beautiful truck. I mean, I think it had like 10,000 miles on it. And he said, but my grandma don't drive. And I said, well, you ain't got to drive to buy a car. You know that. And he goes, well, we can go see her. I said, damn right, let's go see her. So we hop in this Dodge truck. And he said, she's right down the road. Okay. Well, I'm driving.
Yeah.
And he's telling me, where to go and, this. And he's all excited. He's telling me about, starting out doing masonry work and whatnot. And telling about his little girlfriend. He's engaged and all this stuff. And true love and just loving it, So we're riding down the road. He's like, take a left here, take a right there, and all this stuff. And literally, we turn right next to a cemetery. And I'm like, whoa, too far gone. We can't use her. But we drive past the cemetery, and we turn into a nursing home. I kid you not, my right hand to Jesus himself. I drove that 2500 Dodge long bed four-wheel drive truck with a Cummins into a southern something. It's not a cemetery, but old folks.
Close enough.
I took my Manila. I hopped out of that thing, floor shimes, literally dressed like a Southern Baptist preacher. Jump out, and I grab my Manila folder and my BlackBerry. This is pre-iPhone.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and we sat at the lunch table and filled out the credit app with his probably 90-year-old grandmother.
She in a wheelchair?
No, she wasn't in a wheelchair. She was walking. So we fill out the paperwork.
She's like, sure, sign me up. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Don't.
So we get her filled out. I'm thinking like, wow, I'm going to hell. But I'm filling this out. And she goes, but there's one thing. If I'm going to sign for this, she said, I want to ride in it.
Yeah.
And this little 4 foot tall, 4'11" lady, is kind of hunched over. She has a walker. She walks out to the truck, and I helped her get in the truck, thinking, like, I'm going to have to answer for this. And she rides it, and I drove her around the parking lot in this truck. She goes, this is nice. I said, just think about them grandbabies going to be riding the back seat of this thing. And
that's when the salesman kicks in.
All this stuff. I said, think about your son. I said, you talk about selling those big masonry jobs, or big brick jobs. You come pull up a nice truck like this. This guy's got it figured out. I said, that whole thing he's got. So anyway, back to it. He's going to trade his truck in. I never forget, I called the used car manager. He drove by. This is how rough his truck was. He drove by with a golf cart. He calls me on my phone, on my cell phone. And he says, we'll give him $500 for that truck if he throws the wheelbarrow in.
That's a wholesale truck all day long.
Oh, yeah, it's just going straight to the back.
Yep.
And so anyway, we got Grandma's paperwork. Well, at the time, I already texted everything to my sales manager on my BlackBerry, on my QWERTY keyboard.
So
literally.
He's running it.
He's running it while we're on the way back.
Yeah.
We walk in, and we used to have a thing, thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of, whatever. And I walk in, and he's shaking his head. I'm like, Jesus, anybody in this damn family got credit, He walks in, he said, you're the luckiest son of a bitch I ever seen.
900.
845. I said, and we're selling a truck today. Signed him up. We never even negotiated on the truck. He was just so worried about getting it financed. We never did anything.
Full price.
Full price. Negotiated it out. He rolled out of it. He paid that truck off. I do know that. I actually bumped into him a few years later. He still had it.
He didn't hang grandma with it.
Yeah, he didn't hang grandma with it. But, and then the next day we had a very stern talking to in the sales meeting about straw deals. But
I guarantee that
called?
was a hot topic for that dealership at that time.
Oh, yeah. And it was like,
what's a straw deal?
Straw deal is when you sell a truck to somebody, but you use somebody else's name to actually sell it. Or, it's in someone else's name. That's not like living with them relative.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and it's like, you're telling me this 94-year-old lady bought
a Dodge diesel
3/4 ton 4-wheel drive with a 6-inch lift, Yep. She's spry.
Sure did.
She rode in it. I'm telling you, she bought it.
I watched her sit in it, and so that was always the grandma's got credit story.
Yeah.
And that's one funny one. Like I said, we're talking about off the air about the Mary Kay thing and the Cadillacs. I love Cadillacs. I've always been a Cadillac guy, and I used to joke around. I dated this girl for a long time, and we're still good friends. I've known her since 7 years old, and we dated off and on for about 8 years, and I'll never forget, she drove Nissans, and everybody in her family drives Infinities. And you keep in mind, when you're a salesman, you don't turn it off. You're always a salesman.
Yep.
Even when you're not making money.
That's right.
I think that's in every business.
All day.
It is. Yeah. You just want to make them go your way. You want to convince them you're right. And she had a Nissan Rogue, like a little SUV thing. And it was a decent car. And she said, I think I'm going to get me a new Rogue. And I'm like, okay, let's go look at them, And we went and looked at it, and it's okay. It's just kind of whatever. And it was brand new. And she says, I really like this. And I said, can I show you a car and you give me your honest opinion of it? And she goes, why? So I said, because I don't want you to buy this. And she said, why is that? I said, because I'm tired of people thinking I'm sleeping with my cleaning lady when you come over to my house.
The Nissan Rogue.
The Nissan sitting in my driveway. Yeah. And I said, we got a little bit of a rep over here in the Old Mill Estates. Let's keep it up. So anyway, I took her to Kevin Whitaker Chevrolet, and she test drove a Cadillac SUV, and she loved it. She said, man, this thing's nice and all this stuff. And we got the deal. And I'll be honest with you, it was like $3,000 more than the Nissan.
Than the Rogue.
And she's like, I don't know. It's a little bit more. And I said, Brooke, listen. And I just sat her down and just had that put my arm around her speech. Keep in mind, I'm making not $1 off of this deal.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, listen, you don't have a car payment now. Obviously, you're trading a car in, you're going to have a car payment regardless. And I said, would you rather be making a payment on something that is a good car, or would you rather make a payment on something you love?
Yeah.
And this is the next thing. And I said, when somebody describes the best of something, do they say it's the Nissan or something? They say it's the Toyota, it's the Cadillac or something. And then I said, I got another one for you. I said, when you're eating a pack of crackers at lunch in your car at work because you're trying to save money to make that car payment, do you want to look at a Nissan emblem and a vinyl steering wheel, or do you want to look at a wood grain leather wrap wheel with a 6-duck emblem in the middle of it?
That's right.
The thing is, though, What you're talking about right now, I agree with in all aspects of life. There's a future in your front. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean fake it till you make it. I'll give you a scenario that I kind of went through growing up. Was like, I remember when I was in high school playing football, Jerry Rice from the 49ers was my guy. He always said, the better you look, the better you play. And I used to take that to heart. Mm-hmm. And so every day, game day, like the laces were perfect.
Yep.
The socks were, everything was perfect. Everybody else, willy-nilly, put their pads on, go out there on the field. But I always felt like, I think that's true for business too. You show up.
100%.
Yes, you show up and you're decked and you feel confident in what you're doing, everything's going to be better.
Okay, so the same aspect, and this is something crazy. There's 40 million vultures that do exactly what I do, selling collector cars. Selling them out of their backyard, and they take pictures in the church parking lot or, whatever.
Yeah.
I've got a 1,200 square foot flying egg gas station built inside my building that we take pictures in front of. Gas pumps, everything. Why'd you do all that?
Brings it up a level.
It's that, but it's that boutique. It's that special shopping experience. You're selling the sizzle and not the steak.
That's right, exactly right. It lets you sell it for extra $2,000-$3,000.
Well, this is the thing. I can park anything in front of that. It's instantly just cooler. Just sitting there.
You're right.
So let's switch gears for a second. I want to talk about sales and the thought process thereof. Like, so when I got in the car industry, I don't know, late 90s.
You were in the car industry?
When I worked at a dealership.
You did?
Cars, yeah. So I worked for...
I did not know that.
I want to say in Anderson, there on the boulevard. Was it Piedmont Honda? So I was knocking out some Hondas, and the general manager came to me and said, Jared, we love you. I got letters of recommendations from like 5 customers saying you're good at what you do, and they'll only buy from you. But you've had too many car wrecks and speeding tickets.
You're a liability,
Our insurance company said you can't even move it from the wash bay to the lot.
You're done.
I love you.
So I can see.
Good luck to you. So I went to.
They make you leave?
Yeah.
Because I can see Jared being the salesman, like, let's do a test drive, but hold on one second. Hold on. Let me go get somebody.
Yeah. But so I went to Hendrick Motorsports, or there in Easley. And same thing, because I already was learning Hondas, but what I learned in both dealerships was Grant Cardone at that time was the car guy.
Yeah.
He was the coffees for closers. Like, don't pour your first cup. Don't sit down. Go out there. And, like, they made us watch VHS tapes of Grant Cardone, but for 2 weeks before he ever put in front of a customer.
I did not know you sold cars.
Yeah, but my goal was not to sell cars. My goal was to sell cars only to get in the service lane.
Yeah.
Because I knew that there was more money in the service lane than there was on the front. If you were a good salesman, the service lane, not only did you not have to worry about weather, right? You were always heated, but you had the opportunity to make, 6 digits.
Yeah.
And so
what's service lane? Is that like selling?
So it's a service rider.
It's a drive lane, service rider.
Service rider. So when I went to service rider, it was, I've got low air in my tire. Can you pump? Yeah, but did you realize that you're 60,000 miles up and you need a time belt?
I got you. Who's the guy? So when I bought my truck,
Captain Upsell there is.
I made a killing.
How about those wiper blades?
Point 3 to
so
the
you
service guy, right?
You get a percentage on everything, huh?
Oh, 100%.
Upsell everything.
Yep.
So kind of back up a little bit. He's talking about me being a Dodge guy. This is how I roll. I'm a Dodge guy if it's a diesel. If it has a diesel in it, I'm a Dodge guy.
No, you're a Cummins guy. That happens to be in a Dodge truck.
There you go, because you will not catch me in a regular gas Dodge truck. If I'm going to drive a regular gas truck, it'd probably be a Chevrolet. Especially if it's like in the C10 area. You're definitely going to be a Chevrolet. But then I'm also, I own Ford vehicles too. So I'm like all over the place. I think it has more to do with what it is in each particular set than the fact that I'm like a Dodge guy or whatever.
Sure. So,
Rob, anyway, hold on one second. So when I bought my truck, I bought it in Anderson at the Dodge place right there. And I knew what I wanted when I walked in there. I hate going to those dealerships. So anyway, I go through the process. I buy the truck. I go in there to talk to the finance guy. And he's trying to sell me on everything. Oh, you need this, you need that. And I'm looking.
Upholstery protection.
Extended warranty.
Well, and I'm looking on his shelf and he's got like a picture of his new Corvette, whatever. And I'm like, did you just buy that? Yeah, it's my new Corvette, He's like, oh, you need this extended warranty. I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah, have you ever had a diesel truck? They have all kinds of electronic stuff on it. I'm like, dude, you obviously don't know me.
you thought about this protection plan? He pulls a pamphlet out.
I'm like, no, I'm good. But that's how he made that money was, the more he could sell, and that's how he made his. That's how you bought that new Corvette.
Like working at the Ford place. I drove a new Corvette. I had a C6 Corvette in 2005.
Working at the Ford place?
Working at the Ford place. And I'll never forget, I had to take it into the dealership because the door handles on them, they were like that touch, the first of the touch ones, Yeah. And they gave trouble. And I remember raising hell to the service writer. I said, you know how many fucking Fords I got to sell to drive a Corvette? And my thing is, I would drive it, and they made me park on the side of the building. And, I didn't want to drive. First of all, I didn't want to drive a Ford, so I didn't want them in my driveway, so I didn't take them home. And so whenever somebody said, hey, Rob, what do you drive? I always point to the side of the dealership. There's always be like an F-150, be like, that right there's mine. Then I get my red Corvette and go home.
So tell me what happened in the 80s to the 90s of used car salesmen. Like, still to this day, people are like, it's just got that used car salesman attitude. Like, for a while, for a period in time, it was bad to be a used car.
It was
guy.
a stigma. It was not. It was
a reputation that a lot of people couldn't get around, right? And it was just the same.
I personally think you can be an amazing salesperson, but not be full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the thing, and I agree with that 100%. Lying has nothing to do with selling.
Yeah.
Being full of shit has nothing to do with selling. This is the thing about being a salesman. Being a good salesman is being a people person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's different ways of doing it. If you like to watch your Grant Cardone videos or your, closer videos or all, insert whoever's a sales motivational guy this week, videos. But my thing is, you can't teach someone to sell.
Yeah.
It's either in you or it's not. Now, you can give some tips, you can see some things, and everybody sells different. I did stand-up comedy for 7 years. And something I learned.
I would have never guessed.
I didn't know that. That is great.
So, I mean, and nothing big. I mean, it was just like hole-in-the-wall bars and things like that, open mics. But still, I did stand-up comedy for 7 years. But this is the thing, though, and I learned something. Well, I actually learned two things. One, with a face like this, you better make them laugh. And you're never going to get laid. Or as two, the second thing is, if you can make somebody laugh, you can damn near make them do anything.
No question.
You're right.
And that's the thing. I mean, it releases, all the good juices in the brain.
Yep.
You got them laid back. Now you ain't that used car salesman. Oh, man, this guy's hilarious. This old rabbit guy, he's a character, man. He's a card. You need to go over see this guy.
This dude's cool. He, in a way, he's going to lie to me.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to be all right.
That's right.
Yeah. Cue evil laugh.
All right, sign right here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it was in such. So, two things I know about a car dealership: highest turnover rate in any industry, and one of the most cutthroat businesses you can be in if you're a salesman.
You have no friends in a dealership.
Yeah.
These guys that'll say, "Oh, well, I'll take care of that customer for." Oh man, I really appreciate it. I'm at the hospital with my family member. And then they take the deal.
They took your deal.
Well, I didn't know that. You said you'd help me. Well, I did help you. I got rid of your car.
Yeah, exactly.
They were in need. I helped you.
It was cutthroat, but it was all about.
And there's no such thing as a day off because if you leave, you're not getting paid.
Yeah, that's right. And the hours sucked.
Yeah.
Right. But it was what some of the stuff we learned in sales was, know your customer, know your audience, right? If there's a tennis racket in the back seat of the people that pulled up, oh, so you play tennis? Me too.
Yeah.
Or my favorite. This is one. I got one for you. This is Sales 101. Where do you work? Well, I work at blah, blah, blah plant.
I work there.
My uncle. No, I don't. No, I sell cars. My uncle. Oh, man, my uncle works there. My brother. You know somebody. It's like 7 ways from you to get you connected to this guy.
That's right.
Yeah. And now it's so different because what percentage of your customers actually go there before just to shop versus they've already found what you have that you posted on Facebook or social media or TikTok, and they were like, "Oh, I've been looking for that 32 model, so I'm coming. I'm gonna
see
want
with
that."
with you.
Are you having to sell it as hard as you were on the front line, or
I don't sell on the front line. Everything's sold online.
Yeah.
Virtually,
so
they see it there first.
So that's my question.
I don't have. It's all by appointment on my end.
Versus what it used to be at a standard dealership, is the sale still that hard? Because you're in a different market now. You're in a collector market.
Yeah,
that's
well,
the thing.
and
We
I
don't
think-
sell needs. I sell wants.
Yeah. And I think for you too, you probably have a lot of return customers.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, I look at him as like the lake property real estate guy who sells a house to somebody and then their friend refers them, or they want to sell this 5 years later. They come back to the same guy and then they want to buy another one. So it's like this always revolving door of this customer base that you've built over the years. You know, I would think that when somebody's looking for something that's bought something from you before, they just hit you up. Hey, I'm looking for this. Can you find me whatever?
Or what you got. You know,
or what you
hey,
got. Or what,
I want something fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're a locator as well? So if I'm looking for a good rat rod or a high-end 32 Ford.
Whatever.
Anything you want.
You'll do the work.
You can make it happen.
Yeah.
Now, I did see a little square body that wasn't painted. Your wrap guy wrapped it.
So that was we did a couple. We do the Desert Fox style stripe from the square
and
body.
he's a funny dude too.
Robert is a mess. So I did radio with Robert.
Yeah,
Yeah. Was he there when I was there?
Yes.
So
Big guy.
is he the one that helps you with filming and stuff too?
He does a little bit. Robert is a character. Robert has helped me with every facet of my life. He's been involved in it.
Good friend.
He's a talented graphic designer. He's a great guy. That guy calls me every day. I talk to him for at least 5 minutes. It's like when I was out in Texas filming. He said, "Dude, you know what? I can't sleep at night because I'm so excited about what you're doing."
What you're doing? Does
Like,
he have his
he's
own?
that guy.
Does he have his own show?
That.
No.
He is supportive of your success.
He is.
We talk about
But he's-
that all the time.
And the stories and the thing that you will never hear on a podcast. But he's that guy. He's funny. Robert has seen me hugging a toilet dying
Yeah.
and has picked me up and carried me, and stuff to the, being at SEMA for the first time, representing different companies, the YouTube stuff, the radio show, doing the events. Every step of it. And he said, "I've watched all this unfold."
He's good, and he's talented. His raps were just like, I thought it was sprayed on.
Well, and that's his thing, and
just tight.
the thing that's cool is it saves time with us. It was kind of fun. We were filming the TV show, and we were joking around. And of course, speaking of the used car stigma, and all this gets tied in together. So Robert designed my logo. It was really funny. I wanted something kind of an old school throwback. I said, I want that 60s used car dealer vibe, the name Rabbit's Used Car just looks like a bad car lot. So I love it, Yeah. And so he comes up with this first
Like
design.
a bad car lot.
And he goes, like a tote the note car lot anyway. Yep. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Buy here, pay here.
That does title loans and pawns in the back But you know what I'm saying?
We buy gold.
Yes. You wanted a sign that spins on the thing.
No rewawa.
It sells bootleg designer bags.
Yes.
But anyway, but Robert, I told him I want that vibe. I want that 60s, like Earl Scheib, cheesy looking 60s vibe, just, whatever. And so anyway, he goes and he comes up with this. And the very first logo he had a cartoon rabbit on it. Kind of his spin of the Tricks rabbit a little bit. And I'm like, he said, "What you think?" And so I said, "Yeah, it's all right. I like it, but it's not really, you're touching me in the right spot." And he goes, "And I got this one. And it's the logo with my face on it. My cartoon face smiling." I said, "You like it, don't you?"
I dig it.
He said, "I knew you would."
Yeah.
That's the thing. He said,
He set you up with the first one.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
And he said, "You little prima donna. Of course you like it."
Yeah. Yeah.
So did I see a guy off of Chips? Eric
Estrada.
Did I see you with him?
So no, that's actually a good friend of mine. He was actually one of the producers on the TV show, and his name is Paco. He just looks like Eric Estrada.
Isn't
swear I
Eric
thought-
Estrada's name on the show Paco?
No, it's Ponch.
Poncho.
Yeah.
Poncho.
No, it's Ponch.
Poncherello.
Poncherello. Yes.
So I just read the caption and saw the picture. I was like, oh, that's Eric.
He looks like Eric Estrada.
No doubt.
So when we were filming, we were walking around. I never forget, we were filming in a cemetery that was haunted. And that's a story for another time. But anyway, they had a security guard in the cemetery. And so me and Paco were walking around. And, we got cameras and all this stuff. You don't necessarily want to say what you're doing.
Yeah.
So the security guard walks up, and Paco's standing there. And I said, Paco's standing there, he's playing on his phone, he's got papers in his hand. So he looks important, and he looks like Eric Estrada. So he goes, and the security guard's there, and he goes, "What are you guys doing?" I said, "We're filming a new show for Netflix called Top Cops with Eric Estrada." And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, I'm just the big voice guy. Top Cops, live on location." And he goes, "Really?" "Yeah." And I said, "I tell you what, if you let us in here and film right quick, I mean, we could probably get you in, get you an interview." I mean, I'll be honest with you, you've always been a security officer to me, not a guard. And I said, "I respect your position, sir."
Again, salesman.
Yeah.
This guy literally gave us the key to the cemetery. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Y'all guys have fun."
That is
And I
great.
said, that's TV's Eric Estrada. Yeah, we're filming Top Cop.
Took some pictures on the way out with Poncho. Punch.
He's probably got it on his Facebook. I met Punch from Chips.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
He tagged Eric Estrada in, and he's like, that's not me.
That's awesome. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I wanna bring you back, and I really want to dig into sales. Like, I love your stories.
Yeah.
I mean, but from 16 to where you are now, every aspect of your life has been relationships, networking, and sales.
And I'll be honest, that's the key to any business.
It's the
Hands
key,
down.
period.
We talk about that a lot.
All the time. And I love the fact, like, my gold nugget today was, what was the guy's name that does your raps?
Robert. We call him Odd Rod.
So Robert, my gold nugget was Robert enjoys my successes as well.
Yeah.
And we talk about that so much.
Yep.
It's so important. Like, I hit Kyle up all the time. He says, I got so many million views. Dude, that is awesome.
Hang around those folks that celebrate your wins.
Those guys will be.
There's a difference. You know, you got guys, people in your life that are there riding your coattails. And sometimes I feel like I'm dragging half of Greenville County behind
no
me.
question.
But then you got guys that I could call pet at any time.
Yeah.
And that guy would talk to me about a girlfriend issue to, you know, a graphic design to a car to whatever. And some of the things we've joked about and the stories with him is phenomenal. It's just good friends like that. You don't.
Keep it up, man. Yep. Like, keep it up. Rap, this has been fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I love it. Thank you
Good
for
to have you.
This
having
has
me.
been fun. We look forward. While on break, Kyle and I were talking. We may just go take this mobile and go to your shop and
Come on
and
down. We
do
got a podcast set up there in the building. We just hit the button.
Borrow his.
That's
We're
even
ready to
better.
rock.
So let everybody know where they can find your YouTube.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you, hell, on YouTube, type in Rob Pitts, Rabbit Shoes Cars. It's probably the easiest way.
Listen, if you liked his stories here, go to his
YouTube.
channel. That's all you're going to hear. He has a story for every car he buys, which is cool because I think they all have their own personality.
They do. That's the beauty of it, of course. They have a story.
Right.
They've lived a life. You know, I mean, you know, just like every pre-69 car sell. I mean, you got to think about it. This thing was turning hits before they put a man on the moon.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's one of my favorites.
You can
That's
still
pretty
drive it.
slick.
That is
That
cool.
is pretty
That's a
slick.
good sales pitch right there. So anyway, YouTube channel.
Yes, Rob Pitts, Rabbit Shoes Cars.
Okay.
Instagram,
Rob Pitts, literally on Instagram and
TikTok.
Rabbits Use Cars
on TikTok.
on TikTok.
Got it.
Although I was joking around with the guy. He said TikTok. I said no, it's sweeps. It's a Rolex.
I heard that.
I could see you killed on TikTok.
It's doing. I don't play with it that much.
I-
I don't.
if
I don't
you
get on,
did-
but I did a little bit.
if
And
you did, I think
we
you could kill
We're
it.
jumping up there a little bit.
Yeah.
But I had a tagline from YouTube that they're using. It's been like shared like 40 million times on there already. I bought a Rusty Wallace stock car,
Yeah.
and
Is that the one you were going to do that race with or something?
that's a whole nother story
Yeah.
for another time.
So we gotta
that's,
have him back.
that's a good sit down there. That's a hilarious one. And so anyway, we got this, and I did the VinWiki video on it, and I'm sitting there with Ed, and I hate race cars. I hate racing. Racing is downhill business, you know, and
We talked about that with Rhea.
exactly.
yeah, no doubt.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like literally, if my son told me he was going to want to drive a race car, I would slap him. You know, just stop. You know, I would rather him come in and tell me that he's going to take up
Be a
cliff
used
diving
car
or something.
salesman.
Yeah.
Oh, much rather. It's like my dad told me. He said, "Son," he said, "if I see you with a wrench in your hand, I will smack you in your mouth."
I heard that.
If it don't roll, say no.
Exactly. You know, and it's like I tell people all the time, you know, you go to the racetrack, blow your car up or wreck it or whatever. I said, I've been to a lot of car shows and I ain't never tore up a car yet,
right.
you know?
That's right.
And I can sell it and make money off of it. That's the best deal going. But you know, so I bought this Rusty Wallace stock car out of a guy's garage in Oneida, Tennessee. And it's a Miller Genuine Draft stock car. And, you know, I just bought it because, hell, I could. It was just something different. Who else got one? That's right. And it's sitting there, this Miller Genuine Draft stock car. And I said, you know, what in the hell am I doing? It's like, God help me, I got a race car. And that clip of that one line, they sell shirts on Amazon. Somebody's put that on shirts, and they're selling them on Amazon now.
That tagline.
Yeah, God help
That's
me, I got a
hilarious.
race car.
That's exactly what Rusty Wallace said every time he got in it.
Yeah, we actually had Rusty comment on that, and well, even the race stuff too.
Yeah.
And that was hilarious.
I was a Rusty Wallace fan. Not gonna lie.
Well, I got my eye on a Dale car.
I heard that. We can't wait to hear about it. Rabbit, this has been fun.
Love it, guys. Thank you for having me.
You bet.
Appreciate you coming.
Kyle, so let them know where they can find us on the social as well.
SouthCack Pod on Instagram. YouTube, just search SouthCack Pod or SouthCack Syndicate Podcast. You can find us there. We're kind of behind on YouTube, trying to catch up on the content. And then obviously you can stream this anywhere you're listening to it if you're watching this on YouTube.
That's right. All right, guys. Enjoyed it. Thanks, Rabbit.
Love it. Thank you for having me.
You bet. All right. Somebody come. Get me. We need Uber.
Come on, tell her to come pick me up.
We need the bird scooters in Wild.